Boy, oh boy, do I have one for y'all today. And let's talk about it. We gonna talk about it. I constantly get approached on that question that a lot of y'all probably get because you don't jump in relationships and you're not in relationships. Why are you single? And I've explained it. I've defended myself. I've tried to make people think it's okay. And I still get the same thing. And people say, well, you're so put together, you got stuff going for yourself. You're a pretty girl, you're this, you're that. But I'm working on myself. So I give myself that leeway of I am working on myself and I'm okay until I fully find myself to be fully settled down. And this is the meme that I felt like finally described what I'm feeling for y'all people that just don't understand. And it says, find you, then find me. One more time for the people in the back. Find you, then find me. So find you, then come find Mel. And literally, I'm going to read to y'all why I feel like this pretty much describes why I'm single. These 5 words have put in perspective for me the reason I say so, because too many people in the world rush relationships and they are still discovering themselves, which turns into issues within the relationship. Now let me elaborate on that for y'all. What that means is 10 years ago, I'm not that male I was 10 years ago. 5 years ago, I'm not that male I was 5 years ago. So, needless to say, since I'm still working on me, I'm still building me, I'm still making me greater, if I jump into a relationship while I'm in this rebuild, the person might not be as accepting of the person that I'm coming to be. So I feel like there's no rush. Yes, I've, started to date here and there, but there's no rush to just jump into, I guess, the first arms that reach out and hug you. And that's okay. Like I said, when you find yourself, you want to find someone to complement yourself. You don't want to just rush into any relationship because, oh my gosh, Mel, you're 34, you're turning 35 in a couple of months. 35, y'all. 35 and fine. Yeah. 35 in a couple of months and no kids, which I get that all the time. Whatever. But take that seriously. Find yourself before you go trying to attach someone to yourself. So, remember, those 5 words describes it for me. When you say, why is Mel single? Because, which I'm definitely at a point where I think I fully found me. So I'm a little bit more open. But find yourself, then find the person to complement yourself. Remember that, y'all. Yes, y'all. We have a new segment that will be coming in here and there. We're going to be switching out Dopeness with Melly and this here Melly's Treasures. So, y'all that know me, y'all know I like to look nice. But some of y'all that do know me know this too. I love to save money. I love nice things, but I love to save money. I love to find a bargain. I was a thorough thrifter for a nice minute, and I definitely got to get that back because I would definitely find some treasures in there. Now, so what I want to do with this segment in the future, though, I do want to, I want to display some like small business owners. I'm definitely into the Black owned. So Melly's Treasures will be displaying things that is popping and you need to get into. And I'm just going to teach y'all a little bit from time to time. Like this ring, $1. Make it holla. Cute though, right? See? So, I'm gonna show y'all some things that I actually got these here, and I didn't bring all the brushes out. Amazon, and this was called BS Mall. I use these brushes, and as you can see, they work extremely well. I didn't even pay $20 for these brushes. I think I paid like $13. Super soft. Super soft. I will try to include links for anything that I have, which if you're on the podcast, you're going to have to check it out on the YouTube, which like I said, search Confessions of a Dope Teacher on YouTube. Subscribe there to see it in video form. But yes, I will try to add those links on the YouTube if you want to find them. But yes, these brushes work awesome. And this one right here is a flat angled brush. And I mean, with the set, I think you get like 15 different brushes where you paying maybe about $1 per brush. And I've had these brushes for over a year. And you see, they get the job done. So that's one of my treasures. Amazon, y'all. Now this here is about gone. But a lot of y'all, I know y'all like Sephora. I like Sephora too. Sephora be costing some good money. This here is a color corrector. Pay attention though. I'm going to put y'all up on some gems in Sephora. Pay attention to that clearance. I got these on clearance for like a few bucks. And I had a whole bunch of these. So find your gems as well. Melly's Treasures from Sephora's clearance. Another clearance I got. I actually brought these when I was in San Francisco. And it's a nice little palette. I don't remember what I paid for this. It was real cheap though. Because I got it for like 70% off. And this one. Both are MAC. And I think together for these, both of these, I might have paid $30. Regularly, they're probably about $50, $60 each. So, like I said, when you go in the store, I'm going to tell y'all my secret. Unless it's something like this that I know I'm going to buy. This is Fenty Beauty. If you see my skin, this matches me so well. You can barely tell I even have any foundation on. I'm going to pay regular price for this. So I'm going to grab this when I need it in the store regardless of, and plus it's Riri, you know. So get your go-tos, but always, always check clearance before you go to the regular rack. Because if you see my lips that are super popping right now, which I'm wearing this MAC, I did both of the different ones. These are both the MACs. But this here, oh my gosh, y'all, I gotta zoom in. It's called Shawty. And it's by Rihanna. And guess what? I was gonna buy it anyway, but I went to the clearance area first. Got these on clearance. So I got like 4 of these bad boys. So, Melly's Treasures. Fenty, this gonna last you a minute, but it's gonna match you. And the rest of this stuff, so these 3 was clearance. Always check clearance. And don't be afraid to not get name brand, because these BS malls are the shiznit. And that ring that's popping, $1, just because it was cute. So, Melly's Treasures, I'm going to be bringing y'all some treasures, putting y'all up on game, telling y'all my secrets. Y'all probably wondering how much this dress was too, but I'm not going to tell. Yes, y'all, we tapped into one of my favorite segments because I like dropping them gems, you know what I mean? Because we all been there, done that, and we like to get, you know, to that greatness. So this is Life Tips with Melly. So what I'm going to be doing in this segment from now on is dropping 3 life tips a show. So, number 1, number uno, trust yourself. You survived a lot, and you'll survive whatever is coming. Too many times we are listening to, I guess, the crowd on the outside, and we go away from what our beliefs are, and we deviate away from our plan. Hone back in on the idea that, like I said, you've survived way more than you think, and you've done a lot because of yourself. So trust yourself. That's key. Number 2, remember you can't reach what's in front of you until you let go what's behind you. Don't let that past come and bite you in your ass. Like, seriously. And this could be what I think one of the biggest ones with that is relationships. I'm guilty of that, you know. And I'm saying that because of my last segment, but you know, we tend to hold on to things in the past, and sometimes it starts to dictate the present, and it messes up your future. So just think about all that weight that you're carrying around by holding on to things that don't have no room in your luggage to go with you. So if you want to get to those things that you have been manifesting for your future, you got to let go of that negative in your past. Not everything in your past should be left behind, because some of it is motivating and it pushes you, and it's a reminder of where you got to. But that stuff that's weighing you down, lay it down, leave it down, push it along. All right, number 3, look for something positive in each day, even if some days you have to look a little harder. That one's really important right now, because with COVID, it's hard. When you sitting at home on the couch and you work in front of the computer, and then you get up and you eat, and you sitting right back on the couch, and you just really don't have much to do, but you got to find something positive in the day. Like, my positive started to be, man, I can get a lot done around this house that I haven't been able to. I've almost been in this house 3 years, and I've barely finished some projects. November marks 3 years I've been in my house. Been a homeowner for almost 3 years, and I'm barely completing some projects. So that was some of the positive that I found in the day. I exhausted myself doing it, but man, do my house look popping now. So no matter what it is, and that's my joy. I don't know, maybe your joy is to write, maybe your joy is to read. That might be something positive for your day. Whatever it is that you like, find some positive in your day, no matter how that day is going. Life tips with Melly, y'all. You guys have tapped in to the confession segment, and guess what, y'all? We got our first guest. Yes, Miss Amie Scroggins, Miss Gigglebox. Can you introduce yourself to the people? Remember, y'all, we are live on YouTube and on the podcast, so introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Amie Scroggins, and I'm a teacher at South Mountain High School. I just finished my first year during the pandemic. I'm also Melissa's sister, younger sister.
She look a little nervous, y'all. So, yes, if y'all haven't realized, the first show we kind of got into just the return to school. So I thought, what better way to tap into this next session than to get into looking at our viewpoint on these issues and us actually being in the classroom. So some of our confessions today, we're going to talk about actually being in the classroom, parent support, and just a list of things. So get comfortable, tune in, and I'm going to tap into this first question for Miss Scroggins here. So I'll answer the question, and then I'll answer the question. So I became a teacher, which the question is, why did you become a teacher? I became a teacher because I remember going to school in Roosevelt, and there were quality teachers, and I truly respected that. But I also ran into a teacher who, I guess, pushed me away from school right in my 8th grade year. So I went into freshman year lazy, not really wanting to be in school. And I had a teacher that kind of turned that around and threw me right into honors because she saw my potential. So I guess seeing the teachers that actually do it as a work of art pushed me into wanting to do the same thing, like, because I have a very big heart and I love helping people. So that is why Miss Scroggins, aka Melly, aka the dope teacher, became a teacher. So Miss Amie, why did you become a teacher?
Well, for me, it was in high school. Well, for starters, when I was a kid, I used to play school with my niece and nephew, so I always had this
She was a mean
vision.
teacher, y'all.
Yeah, no, I wasn't a mean teacher. I had this vision of becoming a teacher since I was like 8 years old, and that dream kind of went away once I started going through school because people were like, you're smart, you can do so much more with your potential, and they didn't see the value of teachers because they weren't valuable teachers themselves. And it wasn't until I was in like my junior year of high school when I had a great English teacher that I decided that I do want to do this, because especially in South Phoenix, there's a lot of these people that are here and aren't here to empower kids. And I had a teacher that empowered me and made me want to do that to the generations after me. So my junior year of high school, I decided I'm going to become a teacher again, and that's how it started for me.
So, y'all English teachers, it's crazy because that's a connection there that we've never even, I don't know, I've never connected that until today, but it was an English teacher that motivated me again and got me back into reading, and I had just picked the schedule, like, okay, just put me in an English block, and that English block ended up changing my life because this teacher found a potential that, girl, you're a good writer and you need to be writing and you're a great reader. Why are you in these classes? And she threw me, like I said, to the wolves, right back to unders and whatnot. So English teachers, y'all are a gem. Y'all are definitely a gem. So how do we identify our role? That question for me, it's not one answer. Like, as much as my title is a teacher, a lot of people, which I'm going to step into this one, a lot of people, they don't understand what we do on a daily basis. As much as, like I said, that title says teacher, yes, a teacher. However, I'm a counselor. I'm a mom, and I don't even have kids. I am a big sister, but I'm a big sister in the classroom. I'm a coach. Like, I wear a lot of badges, and I think that's one thing some people, if you never taught, you would never understand that. And I think that's something that people on the outside looking in need to understand, that we don't have one job. We have one title, technical title, but I feel like it's so much more. Like, your day starts, my contract starts at 7, it ends at 3. My day never really starts at 7 and it never ends at 3. You know, if a student is reaching out or a parent's reaching out at 6 in the morning, I'm responding. So, like I said, my role is to, I guess, just be a motivator, to be a teacher, to be a learner with them. Like, I wear a lot of hats, and I think that's what ultimately has gained me a ton of respect from my students. I'm a super vulnerable person with them and parents, and to those who think we don't do much, come to my class for one day.
1 hour.
1 hour. That's the next thing I was going to say. I always say one day, and then I say, no, 1 hour, because, yeah, it's not one thing we do. So, Amie, how do you describe how do you identify your role in the classroom?
I think mine is the same. Well, for starters, just let me say this. There's a lot of teachers who think it's crazy of me to, like, have my door open every day for lunch, because they're like, you need time to yourself. And I'm like, I like hanging out with them, and they have a safe space.
We like hanging out with them more than the teachers.
We watch Disney Plus and we eat lunch and whatever, and just, I'm available pretty much around the clock. So if a kid messages me on our Remind app or anything, just always being there for the kids, because some of those kids don't have that at home, and they need that from their teacher. And just, I guess, also being vulnerable. Like, for me, when I started, because I'm 24, so a lot of people are like, you're the teacher and you're like 5 years older than them. And just showing my expertise, but also my passion. I'm an English teacher, which means I'm also very cool.
She one of them gems, y'all. Yeah, so I think that's the craziest thing for me, like, going a little cuckoo during this time is, man, like, I didn't get to hang with my students. Like, I like that time. Like, that's definitely, and like I say, some people feel like the students are the problem, and I'm gonna just be real with y'all. It's a lot of the times it's the adults a lot of the times we don't want to deal with them. I rather kick it with the students, and like she say, like my door open, like it's open door policy is what we call it. So what has COVID changed? This kind of ties into both kind of things I wrote down here. I'm just going to say them all right now because we just going to bust through them. So what has COVID changed? And I want to look at just like parent support and how we view them, and then just the different aspects of it. So one of the things COVID changed, honestly, which sent a lot of parents into haywire to point a lot of fingers, I feel like, at the teachers. But one of the things that I've even recently discussed with some parents is our district, the district I'm in, they actually did a good job at the closure of the year. Like, I virtually taught for a number of weeks, and I actually interacted with parents and students on a daily basis, you know, and it went really well. But a lot of the kind of the backup was literally our state. And this is a problem that it didn't just start. This is a problem that's been going on. So COVID actually, I think, shook them up a little bit that they've been slacking. So COVID really did change us being able to be in the classroom with our students and to make those interactions, to have that open door. So, I mean, how do we say? I honestly can't wait till COVID is over, because being in his house is it's been driving me a little bit crazy. And I mean, I had my Zoom sessions, and I'm that teacher. We're doing experiments. We're doing everything on Zoom that we would do in the classroom. We're building projects. They're turning in work. I'm checking it, but it just changed that. Like she say, them being in the classroom with you, them being able to vent to you the way they vent to you in the morning as soon as they see you, or whatever it may be. So COVID has literally, as much as a lot of parents don't think, it has taken that away from us. Because teachers like us here, we don't want to be at home. We want to be with our students. We want to make those connections. We want to do those aha moments and just giggle, and I want to dap my students every morning, but it's just not possible right now. And what parents don't understand is we're hurting just as much as the students, because I sit at home a lot of the time and wonder, like, how my students are doing. I hope they're okay. Especially those students I know that I would kind of cater to on a daily basis. They're on my mind constantly. So I don't know. It's been a mental thing changing with COVID for me. What about you, Miss Scroggins, Miss Amie?
That was the biggest thing for me, just the shift in being available to your students. So you aren't physically in front of each other, and sometimes it's hard to virtually be in front of each other because there's kids that don't have cell phones or internet, or they might have to babysit, or they might be working. I teach freshmen. I had kids who were working, and I had kids who struggled, and they communicated that to me, and just not being able to fully be there for them the way I would in a classroom. So like kids who were just really depressed over the fact that they have to be at home. Some kids really like school. Some kids rely on school for a lot of things, whether it's food or counseling, etc.
Just to get out that space. Yeah. Yes.
And I actually had a kid who needed to seek counseling because of depression during this pandemic, and all I could do for him was refer him to our social worker after talking to him. But just the shift in being there for your kids emotionally, physically, and mentally. So that includes work too. When we were trying to do work online and trying to explain things like through the phone was really hard. And just again, not being able to have as much community, it was more get this work done and log off kind of thing. Then we're gonna start the day with this motivational video, or we're gonna do this, or you're gonna come in during lunch and we're gonna play board games, etc.
So, as you guys can see, and this is only two people, like there's people even like on my team at work where we would have discussions, and like we can't wait to get back in the classroom. But like I kind of talked about on my past podcast, it's just not safe right now. And as much as I love my students, that's the thing. I love my students. So I'm not willing to put their health on the line, and I'm not willing to put mine on the line. And as these numbers continue to spike, those are the reason they're spiking, because AZ's not moving the way they should be moving. So just real quick, parents, just know that teachers, I mean, I'll be real, there's some teachers out there who do this for a paycheck. Like, let's be real. They do it for a paycheck, and you could see that. But I mean, when you see these teachers out here, just because they're not posting it daily what they're doing, don't assume, don't make assumptions. Like, during that time of COVID, I was doing so much stuff, but I wasn't posting it on a daily basis. You know, like, I was posting it to my parents and just interacting with them. But this is the thing where I say, like, a lot of parents, they put time into calling these teachers out that they feel like are not doing, I guess, quote unquote, enough. But they miss out on the ones who are doing, they're surpassing what they should be doing. Like, when I say I exhausted myself during that time, when I say my contract started at 7, ended at 3, and there's nights I'm getting off the computer at 9 o'clock.
11 o'clock
and then,
some nights.
Yes, and I'm still on Dojo because a parent hit me at 10. Or I'm on my teacher Instagram. Yes, I have a teacher Instagram for my students. They're messaging me at 11:30 at night, and I'm up, so I'm going to answer, see what they need, you know. Like, those are the things that these people who are so just willing to throw teachers under the bus, they don't see. But meanwhile, it's teachers like us, we don't pay attention. Like, we block it out. I don't, interact with that. But what I need parents to do, like I tell the students, we got to embrace solutions, not excuses. We're in a troubling time, and we got to do this together. Like, I'll say there is some parents, I've seen, like, I give my sister props all the time. She does so much stuff, like, with my niece and nephew, and I just watch and I'm just amazed, like, as a teacher, like, they're doing stuff, like, I'm like, okay, like, she reading, writing, and stuff, 4 or 5 years old. And I mean, it all starts at home, and I think that's something that parents need to understand. And I hope that this time really did wake parents up, that they are a part of this process. As much as we're wearing all these hats, the parents are a part of this process. And if we want our students to be the civilized citizens that are going to change the world, parents have to be a part of this process. There's no other way. It has to start at home, and we continue it, and then it ends at home. Like, we gotta get this train moving. So what do you have to say on your viewpoint on parents? Because I know we would kind of kick back and talk about just how we had some parents that were super supportive, and then we had some parents who were at a 0, and then when the clock was out, I'm going to let you tap on that.
So I'm in Phoenix Union, and the process that we had was, if kids had D's or F's, we were to contact the parents, try to get them to turn in work. There was one parent I contacted every day via text. She said just okay, like 2 letters, O and K, and then never said like my student's gonna turn in the work or anything. So he ended the semester with an F, and there was a few parents and students who were like that, and you could see the way that it kind of trickled down from the parents, the way the students cared about school, because all of my kids who had F's ended the semester with F's, which is they didn't get any new grades. They just had like 2 months to fix their grades, and they chose not to. But I think I would also like to commend parents who are working. Like, I had one parent who was working with her daughter every day. They were actually arguing on the phone one day because her daughter didn't want to do her work, and she's like, you need to hold yourself accountable, get your work done, blah, blah, blah. And so those parents I appreciate who are working with us and talking to their kids versus the parents who just kind of let them have a quick, like, early summer.
And you build that relationship, just bouncing off what she said. Like, there's parents which I'm not going to do, you know. But when you have those parents that are going to war with you, is what I call it, it's like, I get so cool with parents, and parents are like, you know what, if they act up, whooping. I'm like, nope, not going to be on channel 10. Like, my students will hear me say it all the time. Like, no, Miss Scroggins is not going to be on channel 10. And it's just because you build that relationship with people that they actually trust you with their child. They trust you with their education. And like I said, there is a huge percentage of those parents out there, and that's what I always choose to focus on. So the ones who be on Facebook and they be on these posts, not even knowing what they're talking about, just know this chick here, I might read it. I'll be about to type, but I'll keep scrolling because I'm like, why? They couldn't last, we say an hour. They probably couldn't even take roll in the classroom, you know? So build those relationships with these teachers. Like, I think that's the most important thing. So I'm going to give y'all some advice when y'all starting this year, because I know a lot of y'all are down just thinking like, oh, we're going to be online. But once again, like me and this chick right here, like, we super with the tech. So, I mean, it's not the same, but I am going to go hard to bring that experience to the screen. Like, y'all see me in my animated self. I'm going to bring that to the screen for the students. Like, I was able to pull that off, and we did science experiments. We did social studies projects. They wrote papers. We did just interactive stuff. We did some of everything all through the internet, and it was me thrown to the wolves. It wasn't even with a lot of time to plan it. So with me having time to plan it, like, I'm low-key hype. Like, I'm hype. So my tip to you, don't throw your teachers under the bus. You know, like me, I'm lucky, I'm blessed to have some of the students that I had last year. Half of my students I already know. I will already have relationships with parents. But I would say that's your number one thing you want to do, is build a relationship with these teachers, because at the end of the day, whether you believe it or not, you need them. Like, they have your students. And this isn't like last year. Your students are going to be held accountable. So they got to do their thing. But build that relationship. It has to happen. And when you build that relationship, I can guarantee you, like, I go that much harder when I'm like, oh yeah, I know this parent got my back. So build those relationships. It's key. You got any other questions, Amie? Anything you want to say to the people?
I guess I'll say building relationships is the biggest thing for me, because I teach freshmen, so they're coming into high school for the first time, and just trying to make that experience special, but also the traditional freshman experience virtually. I look forward to that. I'm honestly really excited to start back the school year, because it's been very boring at home, and just missing interacting with the kids and creating new lessons and having the mental stimulation. But I guess also
stimulation.
I know I like the word stimulation. I guess also just hoping this ends soon, because it's uprooted everyone's lives. And
get your itch together. Get your mask on. We ain't
no
6
one's gonna
feet.
put their mask on.
But man, stop going around these strangers. Stop having these parties with like random stranger people, and man, just yeah. Namaste. Man, yeah, so this is from a teacher's point of view, y'all. We always welcome questions. Y'all can tap in on here, YouTube. Y'all people on the podcast, y'all got to go find the YouTube. Just search Confessions of a Dope Teacher on YouTube. To y'all YouTubers watching now, y'all got to see us live.
And I hate being on camera.
Yeah, but look, she did it for me. No, she did it for the kids.
I did it for the kids.
For the future.
And my sister.
For the future. So, yes. That's all we got for y'all today. I want to clap it up for my first guest. She a little nervous, but she did okay, y'all. Like I say, this is a topic that it has to be talked about, because a lot of people just don't get us. They think they get us, but they don't get us. And I don't think they'll ever get us because, like I said, they don't even know the struggle of what it takes to become us. I did a podcast in the past, and it was about failing. And I remember failing before I was already a teacher, and I failed to be a teacher, which is the weirdest thing. You gotta, yeah. I failed my test.
Ask something real quick.
I failed my test by 1 point. You know what I mean? And I was already running a classroom with 36 students, and I'm like, are they telling me I'm not fit to do a job that I've freaking flipped and had some of the highest scores in the school that year? Like, it was wild. But that's society, man. Don't let society dictate your mental, because that's why we gotta ignore them people on Facebook too, because that's just society trying to dictate our mental. But go ahead, Miss Scroggins.
There's a quote, I don't know who created it, but they say those who can't teach, like those who can't, CAN''T, teach, which is crazy because if you walk into a classroom, it's like I've done subbing, I've done student teaching. Having my own classroom was completely different and draining. Online teaching has been draining, and just we're teaching, working, available around the clock. So those who can't teach is like a crazy thing to say.
Y'all heard her. It's not, and I'll tell you, it's not for everybody.
And
like,
if anyone ever like questions what goes on in a classroom, they like honestly just go visit one, because
my door, remember, our doors are open. I work on an open campus, so, well, not right now, but like, yes, like open campus and tip top, like walk in there and I can guarantee you it's not an easy job for everybody. It's a work of heart. It gotta come from the heart. I always say that teaching is a work of heart. Y'all see the LOVE Miss Scroggins in the back with the apple? That's me. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. It was a pleasure having our guest. I don't know, I might surprise y'all with somebody next, but I want to do something good too. But I had to get this teacher stuff out the way. So I hope y'all got a better view on us teachers in the classroom, and know we're just not here for a paycheck. We actually care about our students. We actually go above and beyond for our students. We love interacting and making those connections with our parents. And one thing I always say, man, embrace solutions, not excuses. Y'all gonna need it for this here COVID time. See y'all next time.